So, when you think about young people in rural areas, there's often so much potential.
Right. But it often feels like the opportunities just aren't there locally.
Exactly. That feeling of, well, I guess I have to leave for this city to really make something of myself.
Yeah, and that drain of talent, it hits the whole community's economy hard, not just the individuals who leave.
Okay, so today we're doing a deep dive into something pretty interesting, trying to tackle this head on. It's a new AI approach.
Using something called the EON AI-powered entrepreneur guide. Is that the one?
That's it, and we'll look closely at a platform that actually came out of using that guide. It's called the Rural Skill Development Platform.
Right, and our goal here really is to get past the buzzwords. Like, how does this AI thing actually aim to help people build skills and find work, practically speaking?
Yeah, what's the core idea, and could it genuinely work for skills and livelihoods in these communities? We'll give you a quick, clear picture.
Okay, so where do we start? The basic problem they're trying to solve.
Let's kick things off right there. What's the fundamental issue this whole initiative is up against in these rural places?
Well, the central challenge, I think, is this big mismatch. You've got skill training happening, maybe, but it often doesn't connect with the jobs that are actually available locally.
A disconnect, basically.
A huge one. I mean, think about this statistic. Something like 85% of rural areas don't have quality vocational training nearby. Like within 35 kilometers or so. That's a massive barrier.
Wow, 85%. That really paints a picture, doesn't it? It's like you want to build something, but the tools you're given just aren't right for the local job market.
Exactly that. And then even for the folks who start their own small businesses, these micro-entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Their market is often tiny. We're seeing figures like 70% of them are pretty much confined to selling only in their immediate local area.
Which naturally caps their growth.
Yeah.
And how much they can earn.
Totally. It's a real bottleneck.
So this is where the EON AI-powered entrepreneur guide comes in. How does it try to fix this? What's the mechanism?
Think of the guide as like a smart assistant, maybe. It's an AI system that walks users through a really structured process. Instead of just general advice, it helps you pinpoint specific problems and needs within your own local rural setting. Then it guides you to develop solutions tailored to that.
So it's not generic. It adapts.
Precisely. The AI uses your input, considers the local context you describe, and helps shape a personalized path forward. It's quite dynamic.
And the Rural Skill Development Platform, that's the concrete outcome we're looking at. An example of this guide in action.
Exactly. It's a real-world application specifically focused on boosting rural livelihoods through, relevant skills and job training.
Right.
And what's quite telling is the background. The entrepreneur who used the AI guide to create this platform, they already had a strong alignment with these goals. The guide helped confirm and focus that, scoring them really high, like 10-10 for rural livelihoods, 9-10 for skill development, 9-10 for vocational training.
So the AI helped validate and sharpen that initial focus.
Interesting. Okay, let's think about the listener here. If you're someone in a rural area, what are the immediate practical benefits of something like this platform?
Well, the first big win is just access. Being able to learn valuable skills without needing to travel long distances, which can be costly and difficult. That's huge.
Moving that travel barrier makes sense.
Yeah. And second, the focus is intensely practical. The stuff you learn is directly relevant to the jobs and opportunities in your local economy.
So not just theory, but things you can actually use right away.
Exactly. It shifts from just learning stuff to guiding you towards actual ways to earn an income in your community. That's the core idea.
And you're not just learning in a vacuum, are you? Do these skills get formally recognized somehow?
Yes, that's built in. There's a recognized certification system, so you get, proper credentials you can show employers or use if you start your own thing. Verifiable proof.
That's important. Absolutely. And maybe the most critical part is that it actively tries to link you up with income opportunities, connecting your new skills to actual jobs or gigs, or helping you launch that small business.
So it's trying to close the loop from learning to earning.
That's the goal.
Okay, so that covers the individual learner. But what about the wider community? Does this ripple outwards?
It definitely aims to. I mean, think about it. If you create more good opportunities locally, you give young people a reason to stay. That could help reduce that talent drain we talked about.
Right, keeping talent local.
Yeah, and it also supports economic diversification. Instead of just one or two main industries, you foster a wider range of skill-based businesses and jobs.
Making the local economy more resilient, maybe.
Potentially, yes.
Hmm.
Plus, it's designed to help existing small businesses grow, maybe reach markets beyond just their immediate neighbors. And for local employers, it means easier access to skilled workers whose abilities are actually verified.
Okay, so we get the what and the why. Let's dig into the how. How does this platform actually work day to day for a user?
Well, it starts with the guides tools. Things like helping you figure out your purpose, what you're passionate about, and then identifying real problems or needs in your community, sort of like groundwork.
Laying the foundation.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then, the platform itself delivers digital learning content, but crucially, it's content designed to be relevant locally.
Not just generic courses.
Right. And another key piece is linking up with community mentors, people who can provide hands-on practice and guidance. It's not just online.
Ah, that blend of digital and real-world support seems important.
Very. It's vital for practical skills. Then you've got the certification to prove what you've learned. And the really clever part, I think, is what they call the opportunity matching engine.
Okay, what would that do?
It's basically AI trying to actively connect your specific skill profile with potential jobs, projects, or even business support tailored to your rural area, like a super localized, smart job board and career advisor rolled into one.
That sounds powerful, that matching part. But what about the practical hurdles? Like, internet access in rural areas can be patchy, and not everyone's a digital native.
Good point. They seem to have thought about that. The platform uses bandwidth adaptive content, so if your connection is slow, it might adjust maybe lower video quality or offer downloadable text versions so you can still learn.
Adapts to the connection. Smart.
Yeah, and they also mention features for offline learning for some parts, so you're not always dependent on being online, plus support for different literacy levels and comfort levels with technology.
So trying to be genuinely inclusive.
It seems so. And interestingly, they also talk about integrating traditional local knowledge with modern skills, not just replacing old ways, but building on them.
Valuing what's already there. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay, this all sounds great in theory, but making something like this last requires, well, money. How is it meant to be sustainable long term? What's the business model?
Right. Sustainability is key. The sources suggest a mix of approaches. Things like partnerships with government agencies or NGOs that are already working on rural development.
Okay, leveraging existing structures.
Yeah. Also, offering training programs sponsored by companies that need skilled workers in those rural areas. Plus, charging fees for the certification services.
Makes sense. Proof of skills has value.
Definitely. And finally, a commission model. If the platform helps facilitate a job match or a sale through its marketplace feature, it takes a small cut.
So multiple income streams to try and make it robust.
That seems to be the plan, creating a kind of ecosystem.
And are there concrete steps, any targets to show this is moving from idea to reality?
Yes, they have a growth plan outlined. They're starting with what they call an MVP, a minimum viable product in about 5 districts.
Okay, starting focused.
Yeah, aiming to get over 1,000 learners involved pretty quickly, within about 4 months. And then within 6 months, they're setting some clear targets. They want 80% of those learners to actually complete the training.
High completion rate target.
And crucially, they want 60% of them to report a measurable improvement in their income.
Wow. Okay, so tracking real economic impact early on.
Exactly. Then the plan scales up, expanding to more districts over the next few years, aiming for around 50 districts and maybe 25,000 learners within 3 years, plus building out things like government recognition for the certifications and a fully working marketplace.
So ambitious but staged growth. Okay, let's try and wrap this up. If we had to boil it down, what's the absolute key takeaway from this deep dive?
I think the core message is using AI in a really focused way. Not just AI for AI's sake, but using it to build a structured path for skill development that directly tackles the specific economic roadblocks people face in rural areas.
So it's about creating that missing bridge, connecting skills people can gain locally with actual opportunities that exist or could exist right there.
Yeah.
Making livelihood sustainable where people live.
Precisely. That focus on local relevance, practical application, and direct income pathways, that seems to be what makes this potentially different. A step towards real economic empowerment.
It really makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Which leads to our final thought for you, the listener. How else could this kind of AI-powered platform, focused on local needs and opportunities, be used? Could it work in different contexts facing similar challenges? Maybe even urban areas with pockets of exclusion?
That's a great question to ponder. And if you're curious to learn more about these kinds of approaches, checking out resources from EON Reality, their website, maybe their podcast or spoken blog could offer some interesting perspectives on where this field is heading.